This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, wasteland wanderers and survivors alike, this is your host, Mr. Button, coming to you live from the remnants of a forgotten world, broadcasting from my humble abode, an old radio station that miraculously survived the chaos. Welcome to my little corner of the apocalypse. Let's dive into the dark humor of this bleak world. It's a strange thing, isn't it? Despite the chaos, the crumbling cities, and the occasional radioactive rain, humor still finds its way to the surface. It's like a twisted coping mechanism. We laugh to keep the darkness at bay, my friends. So gather round your makeshift radios and let's enjoy some tunes, some banter, and maybe a joke or two. I'll spin the records of a forgotten era, share stories of the world that was, and inject a touch of joy into our grim reality. After all, laughter is the best medicine, even when the world is in ruins. Our first song of the night is a lovely track by Death Cab for a Cutie. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the tunes.
There's a tear in the fabric of your favorite dress, and I'm sneaking glances, looking for the patterns in static. They start to make sense the longer I'm at it. Ivory lines lead, whoa, whoa. Your heart is a river that flows from your chest through every organ. Your brain is the dam, and I am the fish who can't reach the core. Ivory lines lead, whoa, whoa. Oh, instincts are misleading. You shouldn't think what you're feeling. They don't tell you what you know you should want. Ivory lines lead, whoa, whoa. Oh, instincts are misleading. You shouldn't think what you're feeling. They don't tell you what you know you should want. Ivory lines lead, whoa. Ivory lines lead, whoa.
That was Lightness by Death Cab for a Cutie. I've always liked that track, and I hope you liked it too, as we've got more relaxing tunes coming up later, so stay tuned. Let's take a moment to reflect on the things we miss from the world that crumbled around us. This is Mr. Button, your host on this ramshackle pirate radio station, sharing a couple of somber jokes that remind us of what we've lost. Remember the good old days when smartphones ruled the world. Those pocket-sized marvels were like tiny rectangular gods, granting us access to infinite knowledge and endless entertainment. We depended on them for everything, from finding our way through the concrete jungle to capturing the perfect selfie no one other than you would actually care about. But look at us now, scrounging for morsels of information like hungry rodents, exchanging tales of how we used to cling to those technological wonders. Imagine needing a GPS to navigate in a world where roads have crumbled into dust. The irony is as thick as the layers of grime on our tattered clothes. In this new reality, our cherished devices have become relics of the past. They serve as reminders of what we once had, mocking us with their obsolete apps and shattered screens. Oh, how we yearn for the simplicity of those bygone days, when a swipe and a tap could connect us to anyone, anywhere, just to then ghost them 2 days later. Ha! But fear not, my fellow survivors. Although our smartphones have lost their luster, we carry something far more valuable within us, the resilience to adapt, the will to endure. So let's raise a toast to the fallen era of convenience and connectivity and embrace the challenges of this post-apocalyptic world with a bittersweet smile.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. You know what I don't miss? Those damn ads. Seriously, they were like a relentless swarm of annoying flies buzzing in your ear, always trying to sell you shit you didn't need. But hey, guess what? In this post-apocalyptic world, we've been blessed with the sweet freedom of not having those corporate vultures constantly shoving their crap down our throats. No more obnoxious jingles or sleazy slogans. We've traded the mindless pursuit of materialistic garbage for the true joys of survival. We eat canned beans and drink rainwater, and you know what? We savor every damn bite and sip like it's a 5-star gourmet feast. So raise your rusty tin cups and let's cheers to a world where we're not bombarded with ads that make us question our self-worth. Screw the marketers and their manipulative tricks. We found a twisted sense of humor in this wasteland, laughing in the face of their failed attempts to make us buy useless crap. This is Mr. Button, your malnourished, deep-voiced radio host in this ad-free paradise, signing off with a hearty laugh and a reminder that life is so much better when you're not constantly being sold crap you don't need. Stay tuned for more rants and bygone-era beats. Cheers, you beautiful bastards. Here's another song for you. This one's by Salem, a small band originating from Michigan. Ha! Remember Michigan? You know, before it became just another pod city, filled with pod people, if you can even call them people anymore. Anyway, here's the beautifully wild track. Enjoy it, friends.
Stars fall every night. I see
just wow. That was Starfall by Salem. What a powerfully trippy track. You know, beats like that sure do make me want to go out and fight those damn surveillance drones, watching us like evil scientists watching rats breed. But the funny thing is, they are the rats, cooped up in those white pods with their white uniforms and their selective breeding. Sorry. I'm just glad you and me managed to escape that hell. Keep on keeping on, survivors.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Okay, now we've got something real exciting for you now, ladies and gentlemen. So I was messing around with the old receiver I found here, and you're not going to believe it. You're really not. Someone has sent over a transmission. I thought it was a feedback loop at first from my own transmission, but after listening to a snippet, it's real. There's another pirate out in the world, and they must have been local to send it to me. This is exciting stuff, listeners. Okay, no more time wasting. Let's just play the message and see what this survivor has to say to all you beautiful people out there.
Hello? Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Oh, this is incredible. I can't believe I'm actually sending a message. Hopefully you hear this transmission, Mr. Butter. I've been listening to your broadcasts for days now, and I gotta say, you're epic. I've been wandering these desolate streets talking to myself, and let me tell you, it gets lonely out here. But hearing your voice keeps my spirits high and my dick hard. Okay, I'm sorry I gotta go. The solar charger will only last another few minutes, and I need it to keep the radio going. Love you, Mr. Butter.
Haha, wow, did he just call me Butter? I'm sure I heard that right. Mr. Butter, is that like my nickname in the streets or something? I appreciate the message, sir, but it's button, like the top button of a shirt. Also, what was all that about you getting your dick hard? Come on, man, there's plenty of lewd magazines on the streets just like it was in the 90s. Whatever gets you by, man. It was good to hear another pirate. This is truly exciting. Hopefully, one day we can have two-way communication, mister. Oh, he didn't leave his name. I'll call him Mr. Pirate. Mr. Pirate, thanks for the message. I'm sure hearing another pirate on air brings hopes to everyone listening out there. Big props to Mr. Pirate. I don't know how he sent over that message, but I'm sure glad he did. What a way to lift up the spirits. Okay, it's now time for a quick local weather update. I really should have a jingle for this, right? I don't know. Anyway, the weather from this here mountain is getting rough. From what I can see outside the window, we've got more toxic rain coming through, so make sure to stay inside. It's a big cloud too, so it might last some hours or maybe even a day or two. So make sure you've got those leaks sealed. The last thing you'd want is to wake up with toxic burns on your face. Trust me, I've seen it and it ain't pretty. So I will repeat. Get inside and seal up any leaks. Toxic rain is on its way. This is Mr. Button, your local pirate, bringing you the best music, weather, and worldly updates. Stay safe, guys.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Now how about a little joke to lighten the mood before we groove to the next tune? Here it goes. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Ha! I crack myself up sometimes. All right, folks, it's time to switch gears and bless your ears with some sweet melodies. Up next, we have a song that'll make you sway, sing along, or maybe shed a tear as you remember the good old days. So sit back, relax, and let the music carry you away on this bumpy ride we call life. Here it is. This is Obstacles by Sid Matters.
Sunshine for everyone, but as far as I can remember, we've been migratory animals living under changing weather. Someday we will foresee obstacles through the blizzard, through the blizzard. Today we will sell our uniform, live together, live together. together.
Wasn't that just a soulful journey with Sid Matters? Let me tell you, my friends, there's nothing quite like the power of music to touch our weary souls and bring us together in this desolate world. So take a moment to reflect, sway to the rhythm, and let the hauntingly beautiful melodies wash over you. And remember, even in the darkest times, we'll always have the music to keep us company. Stay tuned, folks, because we've got more enchanting tracks coming your way. Up next, we have a little something to lift your spirits. It's a little song called Motorcycle. This one always reminds me of my ex-wife. Obviously, before she got swayed by pod life. If I had known she was a sympathizer, I would have dumped her ass years ago. Ha! Well, sucks to be you, Carol. Get ready to sing your heart out and hold on to that flicker of hope. Enjoy, my friends.
Figure out, buy me a motorcycle, wrap a pretty little frame around a telephone pole, ride her up a mountain like old Arlo. Figure out, buy me a motorcycle. Well, I figure I'll walk to the liquor store, Thunderbird, 2 bottles, maybe 3, maybe 4, follow my feet down the music road. Pour it on the pavement like you would a tombstone, like you would a tombstone, like you would a tombstone. Pour it on the pavement like you would a tombstone. Figure I'm weary of it feeling this way. Pop another pill, hop another train. Tell my brothers and my sisters that it's keeping me sane. Figure I'm weary of it feeling this way. Well, I figure I'll buy me a motorcycle, wrap a pretty little frame around a telephone pole, ride her up a mountain like old Arlo. Figure I'll buy me a motorcycle. Figure I'll buy me a motorcycle. figure I'll buy me a motorcycle.
Woo, that was Motorcycle by Colter Wall, a timeless anthem that takes me back to better days. You know, folks, living in this old radio station ain't a walk in the park. It's more like a wild ride on a rusty roller coaster. Picture this. I'm sleeping on a lumpy mattress surrounded by stacks of vinyl records, and my only companions are the flickering lights and the occasional scurrying of critters. But hey, I've become quite the expert at catching rats for dinner. Survival instincts, they call it. And let me tell you, if you marinate them just right, they almost taste like chicken. Yummy.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. All right, folks, gather round for a tale from the pre-apocalyptic era. So there I am, stuck with my ex-wife Carol, wandering the streets. We pass by this fancy boutique, and Carol insists we go in. Now, I've never been one for overpriced Chinese-made clothing, but Carol had a knack for wasting money. She's flipping through these ridiculously priced dresses, and I pick up one that costs a fortune. Holding it up, I say, "You know, Carol, this dress is like our marriage. Expensive, pretentious, and it only looks good from a distance." She didn't like that one. Anyway, enough about that. Up next, we have a song that'll remind you of better days. This is Chromatics with I'm on Fire.
Hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is he good to you? Does he do to you the things that I do? Oh no, I can take you higher. Oh, I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull, kinda 6-inch back in the middle of my soul. At night I wake up with the sheets everywhere, and a freight train runs in the middle of my head. You can cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire.
Once again, that was a beautiful song, The Chromatics with I'm on Fire. a beautiful rendition of Bruce Springsteen's original. It's a real shame what happened to Bruce, nuked along with the rest of the non-pod believers. Need I say more, viewers? Rest in peace, Bruce, or should I say, pieces. You know, there's a high probability you have inhaled some famous people, maybe even a president or two. I mean, with the fact everyone who didn't conform got vaporized, it wouldn't surprise me. All those particles and atoms floating around in the air. I'm not a man of science, so I don't really know if that's how it works. But it's a fun thought, right?
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, survivors and wanderers, lend me your ears for another wacky tale. I'm your friendly host, Mr. Button, also known by some as Mr. Butter. But don't call me that. If you've just tuned in, welcome. And if you're still tuned in, it means the starvation hasn't got you yet. Ha! We've got some more epic tunes coming up later in the show, but first let me tell you a story. I was out scavenging for supplies, minding my own business when I stumbled upon this guy named Eddie. Picture this. Eddie had a pet rat perched on his shoulder, wearing a tiny leather jacket like a true rock and roll rodent. Now, I've seen some strange things in this desolate world, but a rat with a fashion sense, that's a whole new level of insanity. We exchanged nods, and Eddie just casually said, "Meet Ratrick, my loyal companion." And let me tell you, Ratrick had more attitude than most humans I've met. I swear that rat rolled its eyes at me like it was judging my life choices. I could have eaten Ratrick right there and then. I know a great rat recipe, but hey, in this day and age, companionship comes in all shapes and sizes, even if it's a sassy rat in a leather jacket. Can't say I wasn't entertained. Oh, the things you see in the wasteland. And now, my dear listeners, it's time to let loose and embrace the wild side of this desolate world with a song that will make your heart race and your body rock uncontrollably. This next track is a raucous anthem that defies the rules and challenges the very notion of normality. So buckle up, my fellow survivors, as we unleash the untamed spirit within. Get ready to rock out and revel in the madness with this wild, untamed song that will transport you to a time when chaos reigns supreme. Enjoy, my friends, and let the music set your soul ablaze. This is John Mouse with Quantum Leap. Once again, that was John Mouse with Quantum Leap. This man is clearly not human, or he was human until the ungodly amounts of drugs and radiation took over his soul. What a weird and wonderful world we live, eh? If you enjoyed that song as much as I did, great. And if you didn't, well, tough shit. This is my radio station, and the only songs I can play are the vinyls, CDs, and USBs I find amongst the rubble. I'm pretty sure this one I found in an old crack den I used to visit. Actually, we won't go into that. And in other news, my dear listeners, let's talk about the infamous pod people. You know, those folks who willingly signed up for the so-called sterile pod life. They traded their freedom for the illusion of freedom, falling prey to the seductive promises of a collective utopia. They claim to love it, spouting nonsense about protecting the environment and earning their precious pod points. But let me tell you, my friends, it's nothing more than an authoritarian state disguised as a green initiative. In the pod, they're stripped of their individuality, their choices dictated by a faceless bureaucracy. They're given a false sense of purpose, believing they're making a difference while being trapped in a web of conformity. They gather in sterile communal spaces, engaging in pre-approved socializing, like mindless drones following the pod agenda. Sure, they might have their fancy gadgets and shiny technologies, but at what cost? They've traded the vibrant chaos of the outside world for the stifling monotony of the pod. They think they're living in harmony, but it's a shallow existence, devoid of true freedom and the richness of human experience. Meanwhile, we, the survivors of the slow war, embrace the chaos and forge our own path. We navigate through the ruins, scavenging for resources, finding beauty in the midst of destruction. We cherish our freedom to make choices, to defy the norms, and to revel in the untamed spirit that still flickers within us. So, my friends, let's raise a toast to those who dared to resist the allure of the pod and continue to live life on their own terms. Let's cherish the freedom we have, even amidst the harshness of this new world. And remember, true liberation lies not in the confines of a sterile existence, but in the wild, unpredictable nature of our human spirit. Stay tuned, my friends, for more stories and songs that celebrate the indomitable spirit of the survivors.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Ah, Carol, my dear ex-wife. Have I mentioned her before? Well, let me tell you, she was something else, until she made the genius decision to join the pod. Can you believe it, listeners? She traded our wild and adventurous life for the soulless sterility of the pod. Now she's earning pod points and reciting their mind-numbing propaganda. Meanwhile, here I am, embracing the delightful chaos of this post-apocalyptic world. Oh, how I miss her quirks and laughter. And let's not forget the mind-blowing sex. Damn, Carol, you were a force. But alas, she chose the path of the pod, and I'm left here without her, basking in my non-podness. And if we ever cross paths again, trust me, it won't be nice, stupid bitch. So, my friends, let this be a lesson. Avoid the pod people like the plague they've become, for there's no pleasure in conformity. I'd rather starve than trade my freedom for their sterile illusion. Cheers to that. And now, my resilient listeners, it's time to kick back and let the music wash over us like a warm, radioactive rain. We're about to dive into another tune that will make you forget the troubles of this desolate world, if only for a few minutes. So buckle up, my fellow survivors, and get ready for a song that will transport you to a place where the skies are clear, the air is fresh, and the chaos of the slow war feels like a distant memory. Let's embrace this moment of musical bliss and let the rhythm guide us through the darkness. Get ready for another unforgettable track, right here on the airwaves of Mr. Button's Pirate Radio.
Body so fit, so full of spark, with affirmations as your wall art. You were driven, eyes on the prize, a yoga routine, home exercise. I play the devoted butler, morning coffees by the bed, while all hard-fought endeavors bring in diminished returns. You're so cool, it's true. You're my kind of girl. Keep you till the end. Find solace in the privilege to pursue. Most people are crushed into servitude.
That was You're So Cool by Jonathan Bree. Just like my audience. That's right, listeners. I'm talking about you. You're so cool. Cheers. Okay, you beautiful bastards. We're nearly at the end of this show. We've got about 20 minutes left before I sign off for this week. Before we go, though, we've still got some epic treats for you to look forward to. I'll be teaching you a survival trick I learned last week. You're gonna want to hear that. And after that, I'll share my amazing rat recipe. That's right. I'm going to teach you how to take that boring dead rat meat and turn into something you'll want to eat. So stay tuned, folks. And of course, we've still got some more epic songs for you, so stay tuned, stay smiling, and don't forget to join me weekly. I'm your host, Mr. Button, and this is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Ah, my resourceful listeners, it's time for another survival tip that might just save your hide in this dog-eat-dog world. This week, I've got a trick up my sleeve that will have those pesky rats running straight onto your dinner plate. Now, we all know that rats are as common as cockroaches these days, scurrying around, but catching the little furry buggers can be a demanding task. We've all been there jumping around on the floor trying to catch them. Well, fear no more. Mr. Button is here. Make sure to pay attention and write this down. Okay, this tip is going to start with some beans. Once you're nearly finished your tin of beans, you need to save a couple. One bean will do it, but 2 or 3 will catch you more rats. Now, I know what you're thinking, listeners. Why would I waste food on rats? But hear me out. 1 bean is maybe a handful of calories. An entire rat is over 100. Think about it. So okay, once you have your 1, 2, or 3 beans, you need to find a container. I use a bucket here in the radio station, but honestly, anything will do. A large food bowl, or even those giant tins of beans, but I'm sure those are quite rare to come across nowadays. God, I do love beans. We're also going to need a rod. or some kind of small metal pole for this, and a regular-sized tin of empty beans. This is where the trick starts. You need to pierce a hole in your tin with the metal rod so it goes all the way through. A plastic bottle might be more useful for this, but I haven't seen one of those since the pod drones took them all away. Could have left some for us. You don't realize how useful a plastic bottle is until there's not a single one left on Earth. Anyway, sorry I'm getting distracted. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So you need to pierce a hole in the bottom of your regular-sized tin and poke the metal rod through it. So now what you have is what could only be described as a rolling pin. Now get your precious beans and you need to squish them onto the outside of the tin. Then, once you have this weird bean/rod/mush contraption, place this on the bucket, with each end of the rod sitting on the lip of the bucket. Now find a quiet, dark corner of your base and place a small ramp up to the bucket. I just use a piece of scrap wood for that. Now hopefully, if done correctly, we have a rat catcher. The rats will smell the uneaten beans, climb up the wooden ramp towards the top of the bucket, and try to reach out for the tin hanging in the middle. If all goes well, the tin will simply roll out the way and the rat will fall straight into the bucket, leaving the bean mush still intact on the tin for more rats to come sniff out. Okay, well that's it, folks. That's my survival tip for this week. Good luck creating your very own rat catcher. Remember though, make sure you don't wipe out the local population of your rats, keep them breeding, and you keep eating. Ha, I like that. Keep them breeding, and you keep eating. Till next time, folks, this is Mr. Button's Survival Tips. Over and out.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. Here's something for all the dirty lovers out there. A post-apocalyptic pickup line for you. Are you a zombie? Because you just raised the dead in my pants. Ha! Remember, folks, laughter is the best defense mechanism in this messed up world. This is Mr. Button keeping the dark humor alive on the airwaves. Stay tuned for more twisted jokes and tunes that'll make you question your sanity. This next song is a jolly one, something to lift the spirits. This is Laura Gibson with her beautiful song, Two Kids. Enjoy, my friends. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I just caught another rat in my bucket. That's dinner sorted at least.
Say never look back. Throw out every sorrow we have. Make a move, trade a roof for the open sky. High, high, high. Living on luck. Tethering our hopes to a pickup truck. Now tell us, honey, you've gotta know where you're going. But you are my sun, my northern lights, my southern cross. And if we're gonna die young, we're gonna die with a love song in our mouths. Oh, 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 oh. Two hearts, new start, every card is wild. There in your arm, the radio up and the windows down. Loose hands, slow dance under crooked stars. We were clumsy at love. It was a shaky two-step in a parking lot. Now tell us, dear, you better fear it all. But you are my sun, my northern lights, my southern cross. If we're gonna die young, we're gonna die with a love song in our mouths. Oh, 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 oh.
lively track there from Laura Gibson. That was Two Kids. Unfortunately, I think Laura is another artist that also perished in the war. Not many made it out alive. Money or fame didn't help anyone. Rest in peace, Laura. Thanks for your music. All right, you hungry folks out there, it's time for a special culinary treat in the wasteland. I've been promising it all show. Today, I've got a recipe that'll have your taste buds dancing in delight. It's my famous rat and bean stew. I'm going to keep it simple. You only need a few ingredients for this one. A tin of beans, a plump rat, or two if you're feeling extra adventurous. Some water from the nearest questionable source, and a sprinkle of salt if you're lucky enough to find it. All you gotta do is just toss everything into a pot and let it simmer over your fire or solar cooker, whatever you have. The trick is we want to cook it for at least 30 minutes. That way the bean juice gets infused with the rat. You'll have never tasted anything so good. Also, don't skip on those rat bones. Sure, they're crunchy, but the marrow is goddamn delicious. Remember, folks, in the post-apocalypse, we make do with what we've got. So grab your beans, catch those rats, and get ready to savor the flavor of survival. Bon appetit, my friends.
This is Pirate Radio.
This is Pirate Radio. As the airwaves slowly fade, my fellow survivors, it's time for us to wrap up another wild ride on this makeshift radio station. We've laughed, we've shared stories, and we've found solace in each other's company in this chaotic world. It's moments like these that remind us we're still alive, still fighting against the odds. So let's take a moment to reflect on the absurdity of it all, the resilience we've shown, and the dark humor that keeps us going. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for tuning in, for being a part of this strange and wonderful journey. But before we part ways, I've got one last song to serenade you into the night. It's a reminder that even in the midst of desolation, music has the power to heal, to transport us to better days, even if just for a few fleeting minutes. So sit back, let the melody wash over you, and know that as long as there's music and laughter in our hearts, we'll continue to find hope in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. Our final song is from a beautiful male singer who, honestly, I originally thought was a woman. This is Cigarettes After Sex. Let the band lullaby you and I into the night with their beautiful song, Heavenly. This is Mr. Button, signing off for now. Stay strong, stay weird, and keep on surviving. Until next time, my friends, over and out.